Hi! You know, something I enjoy about Pokemon is that even if you don't want to battle, there's still plenty you can do in it. Complete the Pokedex, compete in contests, hunt for shiny Pokemon and so on. Me? I like to complete the Pokedex and get rare Pokemon, but probably not in the way you expect. I believe that around Pokemon X and Y Kalos time, the Pokedex got an option to display multiple languages, and that it was pretty easy to trade Pokemon. With features like the Wonder Trade that allowed you to trade a Pokemon for a completely random one. This meant it was really easy to get random Pokemon with different languages. So, back in Kalos, I started a mission. I'll collect every single language of every single Pokemon. Then I'll truly have a complete Pokedex. It was also that moment I realised that this is an impossible task. Didn't and hasn't stopped me though, but doing some simple calculations. There are about 6 different languages to collect, and about 721 Pokemon. 6 times 721 is 4,326 Pokemon that I'd need to collect. That number far exceeded any kind of storage I had. Not to mention future regions introduce new languages and even more Pokemon. So now it's even more. It makes it hard to work on, but I did try. I fully completed the Bulbasaur line for every language and I was over the moon. Just a couple more thousand to go. And since I knew this was going to take a long time, I started collecting the rarer legendary Pokemon, normally the star of the game. One time it was Deoxys, another time it was Yveltal. I generally use the Paperclip method to get them, and if you don't know what that means, I started with like a regular bird Pokemon that you can get anywhere, and I'd worked my way up to the rare big Pokemon like Tornadus. And honestly, it worked pretty well. I recommend it. But you do have to know what Pokemon most people are fond of, or those that are hard to get. I often use Lucario to move myself onto the legendary part of the trades. Anyway, as I did this, you eventually got to go to the Alola region in Sun and Moon. And that introduced a cute little Pokemon called Cosmog. A legendary Pokemon that was the first to evolve. Not only that, but evolving into 2 different Pokemon depending on your game. Put it all together and that's 4 different Pokemon. Times that by now 9 different languages. And that's 36 different Cosmog that I'd needed to collect. Did I mention that you only get a single Cosmog right at the end of the story? It doesn't end there either, because I then needed the correct game in order to evolve Cosmog into the right evolution. It just takes a lot of planning. Something that I've neglected quite a bit recently. I do want to try and do this again with the recent legendaries, I think, like Ogerpon and Terapagos. And with Pokemon Home's trade function allowing me to request a certain language, it might be even easier. But these days, I've been trying to get Pokemon with a certain ribbon, specifically the partner ribbon. You get a Pokemon with that ribbon when you trade with a character in game, and when you send that Pokemon out, it will display that character's name. Like so and so sent out Kieran Zapling. I really like that feature, and while I can get them myself, I want one for each evolution. But since you can only trade with them once, and its difficulty in actually reaching that stage, it's proving hard to find on the global trading system. But if I can get them, it would be so cool to use them in the years to come. Hey, Editor Giseigo here. While I was working on this video, I actually ended up getting a Pokemon with the partner ribbon, so it's definitely possible. Maybe if I talk more about how hard it is to get them, I'll get more.